Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Tae, and today's episode is how to structure your water. I just finished teaching my Saturday morning classes, and I had a brief conversation right outside the studio. And Christina, you're 100% right, as always. Shout out to Maggie, Alexa. We had this brief conversation, but I just want to talk more about this topic because I think it's so important, especially people who are going to work out and have fitness, because there's this whole thing about like pre workout, post workout, hydration. All of this is important, and people just don't know where to start and where to start getting the right information because, in the end, people are always trying to sell you stuff. And when people are trying to sell you stuff, it comes down to two different categories. One, are they trying to make money off of you? Two, are they really trying to help you and then make money? Right. So in the healthcare industry, we try to place, we're trying to help you. And one of the issues that I have is that I can change a person's life from beginning to end and sell them everything that I have in my inventory, which is not what I'm really trying to do. I'm trying to educate people so that they have an understanding. And it's not about like what I should take, but understanding the concept behind what they should do. So without further ado, here we go. How to structure your water. Water, H2O, two hydrogen, one oxygen, binds in, right? The water that we drink today usually comes from faucet, right? And it's based on plumbing. So it's based on high pressure squeezing out to a small pipe where there's high pressure going in, and therefore we have water pressure. So what do they try to do? They raise the water high up so there's this pressure coming down, so we have pressure coming in. And what does this water do to the water structures? The hydrogen, two hydrogen oxygen molecules, they open up and then they get stacked one on top of the other, and the pressure pushing it down. And when we drink that water, we don't absorb it as much. Whereas structured water, the way we find it in nature, as the water rains and goes in between the rocks and it gets filtered. So by the time the water leaves, it becomes not only electrically charged, but mineralized. And therefore, in nature, we have what we call spring mineral water. And that water, it has trace minerals of not just iodine, but boron, manganese, phosphorus, sometimes sulfur. But all of these trace minerals are important. In fact, your body needs it. And modern water, because they've been filtered, it doesn't have any of this. Now, do we need to filter water? Yes, we do. We just don't have access to clean, mineralized water. That water is hard to find. And bottled water, plastic bottles, one thing bad about it is that the microplastics we're finding like traces of microplastics inside of our brains. And this is really bad because, if you have certain amounts of it, it mimics estrogen and it throws off a lot of these, hormonal imbalances. But not to jump into the whole microplastic thing, this is a whole separate topic, but stay on structured water. How do you structure water? All right, so if you're watching this video, you see me talk about plumbing water and natural water. How do you structure water? Okay, so you go to your faucet, you take the tap out, and you may go through a filtering process or not. Okay, now you have filtered water that's safe to drink. It's got no bacteria, or it's got no amoeba, or all of these things, and now you have regular water. Or you take bottled water, and then you have water ready to drink. Drinking this water, chances are, is not structured. How do you structure it? One, physically, you need to have this, okay? I got this from naturalactiontechnologies.com. This little thing, right, is worth, I think, close to $300. I don't recommend you to go out and spend $300 so you can structure your water, okay? Basically, it's a little tube with circular round balls inside. And basically, when you run your water through this thing, it breaks up the clumps of water molecules, and therefore it becomes more absorbable. And I want to show you this picture. All right, so we have structured water and unstructured water. More absorbable water, non-absorbable water. And if we go down, in nature, because the water is flowing through all of these things, and I hope this guy doesn't get sick because that's kind of dangerous, but as long as it's moving water at high speed at certain things, those water are able to drink. And this type of water is not only electrically charged, but more so, it's got a lot of the ingredients that your body needs anyway. And when you freeze water of samples of unstructured water versus structured water, it looks prettier, right? And I want to show you a video, but before I do want to show you right over here. Okay. And you can do this experiment if you have something like this, right? And I'm going to show you at the end of the video, if you watch till the end, how to do this without spending hundreds of dollars, okay? So on your left, you have unstructured water being fed, like tap water, to a plant, and it grows about this big. And on the right side, if you feed the same plant, but if you feed it structured water, I've done this experiment numerous times and it's 100% true. Okay, so if you're watching, on the internet, you might think, oh, maybe Tae's talking out of his butt and it might not be true. But yes, drinking structured water, you feel more hydrated. Okay, that's number one. Okay. Number two over here is what they call magnetized water, or what they call electrically charged water or structured water. There's a lot of people use different words for different things, right? And one plant has been fed magnetized water versus tap water. And the thing that if you feed yourself more good water, your body is able to hold more water. And this is Dr. Masaru Emoto's work. And basically what he did was he spent a good chunk of his life freezing water and looking at the water structure. And basically, if you tell the water, like, thank you, wisdom, truth, eternal, angel, I love you, peace, you fool, you make me sick, evil, the water, when you freeze it, it becomes different shape. Now, one can make the argument of saying, well, water, there's thousands of millions of snowflakes and every single one of them is very individualized and very different. Yes, that is true. However, if you take polluted water and then you don't do anything to it and you freeze it, and you take the same droplet of water and you freeze it afterwards after a prayer, the crystalline structure aligns differently. And this is the big question of, how you feel inside really determines how you get structured, right? So one can make that argument. All right, now I want to show you this video. We're going to watch it together.
Let us see how this type of water affects human blood. The doctor is drawing blood from a patient's finger. Using a special microscope, we shall be able to see the condition of her body from this drop.
These are red blood cells and they've lost their electrical charge, so they're all stuck together in a formation called a rouleau. Here's a huge symplas. Symplas are associated with heart disease and arthritis and lung disease and many other conditions that could be coming in the future.
The doctor asks the patient to drink a small amount of structured water. After 12 minutes, the doctor again draws blood from the patient and studies it.
So you can see that the cells then become buoyant, they become slippery, and they have their electrical charge, so they repel each other. That allows them to carry oxygen, and it means that we're changing the pH of the blood back to an aerobic environment rather than an anaerobic environment.
Okay, so this lady shows blood work before and 12 minutes later after you drink the after you drink structured water. I became fascinated with structured water at the beginning of my career. I started, that's why I bought this thing. And my wife thought, I could have bought an Xbox with this thing, but, it's totally worth it. I still have it. I didn't lose it. I don't lend it out to people. People want to borrow it all the time. But I'm going to show you how to do it after this other important message. So you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars. Water that you want to drink, that you got from the tap water and has been filtered, right? You might want to add something like minerals. This one's got magnesium, chloride, sodium, sulfate, sulfur, lithium, boron, and it comes from Utah. And there is a body of water where the mineral concentration is really high, and they get this source from that. Quick note, the company that I work with is a company called Premier Research Labs. In my professional opinion, it's one of the best companies out there when it comes to supplementation because they have the infrastructure to make sure that everything is really good. So in other words, if you're a farmer and you're farming some sort of herbal ingredient and your neighbor sprays pesticides and the wind blows to your farm, and then you got now an organic farm that's registered. However, if you send this batch to Premier Research Labs and they detect pesticides because the wind blew the wrong direction to your farm, they will return it to the farmer who is organically, farmed. So they go through this whole process to make sure that what you're getting is contaminant free. Number two, they have a spectrometer, which is approximately $3 to $5 million machine that goes into to look at the molecules inside to see if it has exactly what it does. It has. So what they're giving you, if they say like it's 4%, this ingredient, you're making sure that's the real thing. Okay. Aside from that, when your water is charged with minerals, like this pink salt from Premier Research Labs, this is, it's got a lot of other trace minerals, but they didn't specify. And they no longer make this, but I have like a few more bottles. I really like this version of the salt, right? It's got vitamin D, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin K, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin. Basically, it's vitamin B complexes. It's got folate, vitamin B12s. This is like a multi-mineral, multivitamin sea salt. So by sprinkling this into your water, it gives it that electrical charge. So therefore, it's somewhat magnetized or structured. These are the type of water that you want to drink before a workout or during a workout. Now, another science piece. When you drink filtered water, because water always likes to bind to minerals, and if you're drinking filtered water, what are you doing to your body? You're releasing tremendous amount of minerals out of your body. Now, some people like to put caffeine because that's in the pre-workout thing. So it charges you up, you got more energy, so you can do more things, right? But what does caffeine do? It releases cortisol. And what does cortisol do? If it's elevated, it's hard to lose fat, right? And this is like a trap because a lot of people go by how they feel. And yes, that is very important, but you got to know the science behind it of what you're doing. So what I recommend is putting some sort of minerals into your water so that when you drink water and work out, you're able to hold that. Now, if you drink filtered water, guess what? Yeah, you're hydrating and all that stuff, but if you don't have the minerals, it's really hard for your body to absorb it. So you're flushing a lot of things out. The way water gets absorbed into the body, you need to have other minerals, and they make it into this crystalline structure and put it in. And the whole concept of creatine comes to mind because creatine has become a lot more safer in the last 15 to 20 years in terms of how they derive it. A good chunk, the best sourcing you could get, it comes from chicory root. Creatine is a naturally occurring compound in meats, but in order to get 15 grams, you got to eat a ton of meat to get that into your body. So it's better to supplement so that your muscles can hold more water. It's also got a nootropic effect for your brain to function better. Now, if I was to put something into water with creatine and minerals for a pre-workout thing, one thing I would add is beta-hydroxybutyrate, which is a naturally occurring compound that your liver makes when you're in a fasted state or when you're making a ketogenic diet. And basically, what it allows your body to do is to combine two fat cells together to make glucose. And glucose is the currency of the brain. So something like this would have to be the right dosages amount so that your body functions better in the pre-workout phase. Because if you're just drinking water and you're working out and you're getting really fatigued for not a lot of time, chances are you are severely magnesium deficient. Magnesium, and the main sourcing comes from, believe it or not, plants. Your red blood cells versus the chlorophyll is that from a chemical structure, they look identical. It's just that for blood, the centerpiece happens to be iron. For chlorophyll, it happens to be magnesium. And by eating a lot of chlorophyll content, you're increasing the quality of your blood and having the magnesium that is really absorbable. One of my huge pet peeves of people coming into my office and asking me, Tae, do you have magnesium? And I say, yeah, I do. I do have magnesium. And they ask me, do you have magnesium glycinate? And there's this person asking me who knows chemistry. The answer is no. But some sort of marketing has put it into their head that magnesium glycinate is better for muscle relaxation and all of these things. And I don't have 20 minutes to explain to them what the magnesium glycinate really does to the human body versus the stuff that I really sell. A quick side note, which I'm not going to go too dive into it, is, I'm not going to go into it. I'm just going to talk about this topic because it's running up close to 20 minutes. One way to structure your water without purchasing a $200-300 device is go to Amazon and purchase a funnel that funnels things, right? And get a cheesecloth bag and some marbles. And this way, the marbles, if you drop it, it's not going to go all over and you're making a mess, right? And put the water through that. It's going to go through the cheesecloth bag, through the marbles, through the funnel, and that's how you structure the water without spending hundreds of dollars. Next time I make the video, I'll bring my home unit from my house so that I can show it to you, right? But the best thing to do is to, if you don't have this in the meantime, start adding minerals into your water to hydrate, because that's what's going to set the chemistry right. And the most important thing that I want to tell the ladies, if you're watching all the way to this video, is the fact that without proper amounts of magnesium in your diet, you're not creating a correct environment for your body to produce the correct amount of hormones in the body. And right now, there's a hormone war being waged on human beings and human health from certain chemicals ranging from your detergents and fabric softeners and perfumes, microplastics, not enough magnesium in our diet, not enough salts. And please do not use table salt that's iodized. That has been processed. That's really bad for your health. That raises your high blood pressure. And these salts won't raise your blood pressure. And please do not take this as medical advice. Please consult your doctor about which salts to take. Chances are your doctor is not going to really know much about salts to begin with. So, but you do want to talk to your healthcare provider that knows this stuff inside and out and who has clinical experience, not just reading something off the internet and giving you advice, but actually has clinical experience dealing with patients, especially if they have a high blood pressure and what type of salts they should be taking. Because the American Heart Association and cardiologists, they recommend people with high blood pressure, please don't take salt when in fact they do need salt. It's just that they're taking chemical salt that's been bleached and stripped of all these other trace minerals. And when you do take that salt, yes, they're 100% right. It is going to raise your blood pressure. And that is also damaging to your gut, causes inflammation and really bad things. However, if you take the correct salts, your digestion will improve, your body will absorb more better, and yes, it will not raise your blood pressure. If you watched up to this video, please like the button, subscribe, and share this video with another person that you may want to benefit, which is your mom, dad, your cousins, and your best friends who's into fitness. And I'll make more content like this. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.